Last Controller, I'm happy to speak on this bill this evening briefly. As the explanatory memorandum makes clear, the bill provides for a mechanism for taking evidence in the state from a member of An Garda Síochána for the purposes of certain inquiries held in the United Kingdom or the Great Britain and Northern Ireland, which I resent having calling it Northern Ireland as part of ERA as far as I'm concerned. The bill also provides for An Garda Síochána and the Garda Síochána Ombudsman Commission to enter into agreements for cooperation with the police service, law enforcement agencies or other relevant persons or body outside the state. When the Minister published the bill in June, he noted that in addition to this international cooperation, the bill is about enhancing cooperation between being provided to ongoing coroners' inquests in Northern Ireland into historical deaths, and there are many, and many is said. The legislation will further underpin, we're told, the government's commitment to fully cooperate with the framework of the measures set out in the Stormont House Agreement, and I hope so. That is something we all support. We're a small island, and one island off the west coast of Europe, and though we have different law enforcement agencies, there is surely plenty of scope to cooperate where and when possible. This is a welcome approach that has been adopted for many years now, and ever since An Garda Síochána and the Public Service of Northern Ireland, with the support of the Department of Justice and Law Reform, and the Department of Justice initially published the cross-border policing strategy. The strategy aimed to build on existing practical and strategic cooperation, identify a number of key strands of work where both the public service feels that cooperation and supporting legislation can become even stronger. And I note that where the public service feels that supporting legislation and cooperation can be even stronger, the public service. So what are we? We're meant to be the legislators. So does this mean that the public service are kind of controlling the agenda here? I just have many fears about that. I see the current bill as being very much with that kind of framework. It is also reflected in recent comments made by the Garda Commissioner, new Garda Commissioner Drew Harris, and PSNI Deputy Chief Constable Stephen Martin, when they both stressed the importance of maintaining partnership arrangements that are facilitated by two jurisdictions' membership of the EU. I wonder what's going to happen with Brexit and everything else, Minister. So I think it's fairly evident that we should support partnership arrangements where possible. Of course we should. It goes beyond even talking about it, and especially where they can lead to a greater common security for all the people of Ireland. Minister, and many people have talked about legacy issues. What about late Pat Finucane, wonderful solicitor doing his job? What about the Omagh bomb victims? Minister, we're heading to 1998, we're heading now to the anniversary again of what that is. I raised that many times here with your previous leader, Taoiseach Kenny, when he was opposition leader in Ardèche. She spoke to Michael Gallagher and told him, you won't get justice under Fianna Fáil, you get it under us. What happened? He abandoned them. That was a travesty of justice, what happened there. And it's just, and there are many more travesties, many more, the Loughlin Island, the Kingsbridge massacre, many. And is this bill going to do anything for that? No, it's not, because we're burying the legacy. And I do support Deputy Callaghan and others who look for international people to come in to try and deal with this, because we're too small a country to deal with that. But Minister, there are many things in your department that are not well. I see an investigation at the moment in Limerick, just up the road from me, and indeed, where Senior Gardaí being questioned and brought in. I have handed you a dossier, Minister, 6 months ago, about the prison service in Ireland, and indeed in Limerick. That's where any prisoner who's convicted by courts, and I raised this today with the Taoiseach about free legal aid, and they're innocent or proven guilty. Of course I accept that, Hobbs. They go into that prison in Limerick. But the situation in there is not right. Everything's not right. And we have now investigations going on, and I salute Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Drew, on doing that. And next arrest is going to be when the POA and the senior prison officers. This is what's going on. Clean up our own act here before we start these international treaties, because we have nothing to be proud of. The corruption and the carry on with the POA and the senior prison in this country is frightening. And it's a time bomb waiting to explode, Minister. It's going to explode in your watch. Or if you're gone shortly, it'll be someone else's watch. But I have warned you about this 6 months ago. I handed you a dossier of what's going on and the bullying and intimidation of good, decent, honest prison officials, and being bullied and intimidated into making statements and accepting statements that are untrue and false in the extreme and very damaging to those good prison officers' career and their family and their integrity. And it's going on, Minister, under your watch. I'm not blaming you for it, but I handed you a dossier, you never come back to me. It's going to blow up in your face because we have it at the moment and I welcome it. Very select, I'm told, and very secretive, and rightly so, and unidentified unit set up by Drew Harris to carry on with corruption in senior members, fairly senior members, mid-ranking members of the Gardaí, not ordinary officials or Gardaí, and now it's going to move a bit further to the prison officials, and rightly so. Because the cartels and the vagabonds are not only on the streets, they're inside in the prisons, and they have cooperation from senior prison officers and, unfortunately, members of the Gardaí. Innocent and proven guilty. I'm just saying you've made the arrests. I don't know what they are. Never is innocent and proven guilty. But as soon as you sort out, Minister, what's going on and the bullying and intimidation, and I think there's a POA union, and they're intimidating and threatening and bullying good, honest officials. Good, honest, decent people doing their daily work to protect us here and to keep people who are sent to the prison, keep them safe, obviously, first of all, and keep them incarcerated and do their punishment. And they are being bullied and intimidated. Decent people. And there's hearings going on, charades. Senior union officials are sitting in arbitration and found them people guilty and telling a gentleman or a prison officer that he'll never again be allowed back into the union because he begged and dared to ask questions. What is going on in this, under the Department of Justice? So we can deal with these international affairs, and I support them. But we sort out the Omagh bomb killings, and we sort out those areas where information was given to the Garda Síochána. But I'm telling you, Minister, here now, I supported your earlier bill. I'm not supporting this because we're dancing around a pinhead here, and there's huge explosive issues going to come down the track in regards to what's going on inside our prisons. We can see it all over the country with drugs and everything else going on inside. They're operating better inside than they're outside, and they can't do that with cooperation. Not because of the ordinary prison officers, because senior cooperation from very senior levels here, and the intimidation and bullying of people who dare to be whistleblowers and who dare to do their job for an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Go on,